Imagine this. A young woman pulls into a quiet parking lot after finishing her shift at work. She's heading to her boyfriend's apartment, a familiar and routine stop. Witnesses hear her car arrive, but Laurie Depies never walks through that door. Her locked car is found in the lot, a styrofoam cup sitting innocuously on the hood. There are no signs of a struggle, no cries for help, just a chilling silence. It's been over 30 years since Laurie Depies disappeared on August 19, 1992, in Menasha, Wisconsin. Her case has baffled investigators, haunted her loved ones, and left a trail of chilling questions with no answers. What happened to Laurie that night? Could she have been abducted by a stranger, targeted by someone she knew, or fallen victim to something more sinister? As we unravel her story, remember that every detail could be a clue, an insight into a mystery that remains unsolved. Before we dive in, I want to remind you that creating content like this requires extensive research and effort. If you're intrigued by true crime and want to see more deep dives like this, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Your engagement helps bring attention to cases like Laurie's and keeps the conversation alive. Now, let's step into the eerie timeline of Laurie Depies' disappearance. Laurie Jean Depies was a vibrant, outgoing 20-year-old with her whole life ahead of her. She worked at the graffiti store in the Fox River Mall in Appleton, Wisconsin. Known for her warm smile and artistic flair, Laurie was beloved by her family, friends, and boyfriend Mark. On the evening of August 19, 1992, Laurie left work around 10 p.m., driving her gray Volkswagen Rabbit to Mark's apartment in Menasha. It was a trip she had made many times before, a simple, uneventful drive on a quiet evening. But this night would mark the end of Laurie's story as we know it. Her routine journey to Mark's apartment would become the starting point of a decades-long mystery. The night Laurie disappeared, Laurie arrived at Mark's apartment complex around 10:15 p.m. Witnesses, including her boyfriend and his roommates, heard her car pull into the parking lot. They expected her to come inside moments later, but she never did. After waiting for several minutes, Mark and his roommates went outside to look for her. What they found sent chills down their spines. Laurie's car was parked in its usual spot, the doors locked, with her belongings still inside. A styrofoam cup sat atop the hood, as though placed there casually. But there was no sign of Laurie. No screams, no struggle, just an eerie absence. The police were called, and the search for Laurie began. However, the lack of evidence at the scene made it difficult to establish what had happened. The parking lot showed no signs of a struggle, no scuffed ground, no discarded belongings, nothing to suggest foul play. It was as though Laurie had vanished into thin air. The investigation, following the trail. The investigation into Laurie Depies' disappearance was immediate, but ultimately frustrating. Authorities canvassed the area, interviewing neighbors and potential witnesses. Flyers were distributed, and search parties scoured the nearby woods and waterways. Despite these efforts, no significant leads emerged. One troubling aspect of the case was the complete lack of physical evidence. Laurie's car provided no clues, no fingerprints, no blood, no signs of tampering. Witnesses heard her car arrive but saw nothing unusual afterward. This absence of evidence made it nearly impossible for investigators to determine whether Laurie had been abducted, lured away, or something else entirely. In the years that followed, the case grew cold. Laurie's family and friends clung to hope, but as time passed, the likelihood of finding her alive diminished. Meanwhile, theories began to swirl, ranging from random abduction to targeted foul play. In 2010, nearly 2 decades after Laurie's disappearance, convicted kidnapper Larry Dwayne Hall confessed to abducting and killing her. Hall, a drifter with a history of violence, was known for targeting young women in the Midwest during the 1980s and 1990s. He claimed to have taken Laurie and murdered her shortly after. While Hall's confession seemed like a breakthrough, it came with significant complications. Hall had a reputation for confessing to crimes he didn't commit, muddying the waters of his credibility. Investigators were unable to find any physical evidence linking him to Laurie's case, leaving his confession uncorroborated. The confession reignited interest in the case, but also underscored the difficulty of solving it. Without concrete evidence, Hall's claims could neither be proven nor disproven, leaving Laurie's fate a haunting question mark. Laurie Depies' disappearance has inspired numerous theories over the years. Each one is as unsettling as the last, offering potential explanations but no definitive answers. One of the most plausible theories is that Laurie was abducted by a stranger, possibly Larry Hall or another predator. The parking lot's location and the timing of her arrival could have made her an easy target for someone waiting in the shadows. The lack of evidence at the scene suggests that if this were the case, the abduction was quick and well executed. Another theory is that Laurie was lured away by someone she knew, perhaps someone she trusted enough to approach in the parking lot. This could explain the lack of a struggle or signs of resistance. If true, this raises troubling questions about who in her life might have had such sinister intentions. Some speculate that Laurie's abduction was a crime of opportunity. Her arrival at the parking lot might have coincided with the presence of a predator who seized the moment to act. The styrofoam cup on her car could have been placed there by her abductor as a distraction or to gauge her reaction. Larry Hall's confession remains a significant, though unproven, element of the case. Hall's history of violence and his modus operandi align with Laurie's disappearance, but the lack of evidence makes this theory difficult to confirm. If Hall was involved, it raises questions about how many other victims he may have claimed. A more sinister theory suggests that Laurie's disappearance was part of a larger cover-up. This theory posits that someone close to Laurie may have been involved and used their knowledge of her routines to plan the crime meticulously. The absence of evidence could indicate an effort to erase all traces of wrongdoing. The disappearance of Laurie Depies remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in true crime history. Her case is a tragic reminder of how quickly a person can vanish, leaving behind only questions and heartbreak. The styrofoam cup on her car hood, the eerie silence of the parking lot, and the complete lack of evidence form a haunting tableau that continues to perplex investigators and true crime enthusiasts alike. In the decades since Laurie vanished, her story has sparked theories, confessions, and debates, but no definitive answers. Her family and friends continue to seek closure, holding on a hope that one day, the truth will come to light. As we reflect on Laurie's case, we're left with an unsettling truth. Sometimes, the darkest mysteries are those that remain unresolved. What happened to Laurie Depies that fateful night? Was it a random act of violence, a calculated crime, or something even more sinister? Until the day her case is solved, these questions will linger, casting a long shadow over her memory. If you found this deep dive thought-provoking, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. Your engagement helps bring attention to cases like Laurie's and ensures that these stories are never forgotten. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. Stay curious, stay safe, and let's keep searching for the truth. In this chilling exploration of Laurie Depies' disappearance, we unravel the haunting mystery of her vanishing on August 19, 1992, in Menasha, Wisconsin. Laurie, a vibrant 20-year-old, disappeared without a trace after pulling into the parking lot of her boyfriend's apartment. Witnesses heard her car arrive, but Laurie never made it inside. Her locked car was found with a styrofoam cup on the hood, but there were no signs of a struggle or foul play, leaving investigators with few clues to follow. Despite immediate efforts, including searches, interviews, and public appeals, Laurie's case went cold. Years later, in 2010, convicted kidnapper Laurie Dwayne Hall confessed to abducting and killing Laurie. Hall's history of targeting young women in the Midwest made him a plausible suspect, but his confession lacked corroborating evidence, leaving his involvement unproven. Laurie's family and the public were left with more questions than answers. The video delves into theories surrounding Laurie's disappearance, including a random abduction by a stranger, potential foul play by someone she knew, or a crime of opportunity. Hall's confession remains a significant aspect of the case, though his credibility is questionable. Some speculate that Laurie's disappearance may have involved a meticulously planned cover-up, leaving no evidence behind. Laurie's case is a haunting reminder of how quickly a person can vanish, and how, even decades later, the search for answers can feel elusive. This video not only examines the events and theories surrounding Laurie's disappearance, but also highlights the devastating impact of unsolved mysteries on families and communities. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Laurie Depies' case, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ensure her story, and others like it, continue to be heard.